This is a case of find somebody else.
Hello, Mike. I'm Ron Davis, the new general manager of the Machine Tool Group. I'm sorry I haven't had the chance to meet you before now. I've asked this meeting so that we can go over some performance data I've been reviewing.
Nice to meet you, Ron. Welcome aboard. I know you're fairly new in this group, so I'd be happy to catch you up to speed about this particular plan.
This dialogue is opening the door for Ron and Mike to begin a positive interpersonal relationship. Mike is showing interest, and both the tone and the exchange and the energy are positive.
We congratulate you on the improved employee compliance for the new vacation policy. This has been a difficult one to implement, but it appears that 75% of the group is right on target. However, I've identified some additional areas of improvement that I would like you to discuss with you. I need your help in coming up with some solutions. Then maybe we can agree on those solutions.
This communication is validating because it is recognizing Mike's accomplishment regarding the implementation of the new vacation policy. Ron is also making Mike feel valued by asking him for his assistance with problem solving. He's willing to work with him in order to come up with solutions to other problems. This two-way communication demonstrates respect and the willingness to be flexible and open to the ideas of others. Two-way communication and flexibility in communication allows for collaborative and teamwork.
Thanks for noticing the improved employee compliance. We've worked hard to accomplish that. And yes, I'd like to help with these problems. So what do you mean additional areas of improvement?
Mike's response to Ron's compliment flows smoothly and is an extension of the previous conversation. This is an example of interaction management. No one is being rude. They're taking turns speaking and staying on topic. By asking Ron to elaborate on the areas that need improvement, Mike is also demonstrating active listening by reflecting and probing. This reflection probe encourages Ron to go into greater detail about the proposed topic of identifying and collaboratively seeking out solutions for noted problems.
While walking the plant the other day, I overheard an inappropriate conversation between you and a female employee. This is a place of business, and I would expect that all conversations to be respectful and professional. I would not want anyone to feel intimidated or harassed by their management team, or for that matter, anyone else in the company either.
By using the personal pronoun I in this communication, Ron is taking responsibility and identifying himself as the owner of the statements. This will hopefully aid in building a trusting relationship between the two of them. Having a trusting relationship can then lead to Mike's acceptance of counseling from Ron in the future.
I'm aware of the conversation that you're talking about, but I don't agree with your assessment of it. What do you consider inappropriate conversation?
By asking Ron to elaborate on his observation, Mike is continuing to demonstrate active listening by reflecting and probing. This reflection probe encourages Ron to go into greater detail about what he witnessed.
I understand you may not agree with my assessment, but I overheard you comment on the weight loss that this associate had begun to lose since beginning this diet. While it is acceptable to be friendly and discuss neutral social topics, it is not appropriate to make personal comments.
Ron has evaluated Mike's behavior and judged it to be inappropriate. This type of communication can cause hurt feelings and provoke a defensive response that can close the discussion. Alternatively, Ron could have been more objective when he revealed what he witnessed and then went on to explain the possible repercussions to continued inappropriate conversation, for example, sexual harassment. However, Ron's description of the event was specific useful, not global non-useful. Specific communication is easier to understand and can be a motivating factor for improvement because it is straightforward and easily understood. In the original conversation, Ron raised the topic of the appearance of the shop before the problem of the inappropriate conversation had been resolved. Also, Mike ignored Ron's comment regarding the inappropriate conversation and began defending the appearance of his shop. Mike's defensiveness and the abrupt end to the original and now unresolved topic of inappropriate interactions between him and his subordinates could have been a result of Ron's earlier evaluation of his behavior. This communication lacked congruence. There was also a missed opportunity for Ron to counsel Mike on his attitude, as well as a missed opportunity for Mike to seek clarification and feedback regarding what is considered inappropriate conversation in the workplace.
I understand now, and I will be more careful with my conversation with all of my employees.
Great, Mike. Another item I'd like to discuss with you is the neatness and order of the shop. You know that Parker values the neatness and order. I noticed that the shop is not neat. Not neat as ordered as it possibly could be. Is there a reason for this?
By making the neatness of the shop the topic and not Mike's lack of neatness or inability to maintain a neat and orderly plant, the focus will stay on the problem and how to resolve it instead of on the person and how their personality or character can be fixed. Ron asking Mike for a reason why the shop is not neat allows Mike the chance to provide a valid reason and prevents Ron from appearing overly critical and rigid in his opinion and judgment.
Well, we take a lot of pride in our neatness and organization, and under normal circumstances, I would stack this plant up against any in Parker for neatness. But this has been an exceptionally busy quarter. Employees are leaving their tools on their workstation so that they can have immediate access to them. In the future, we'll make sure to strive and meet the standards of neatness that Parker is known for.
Thanks, Mike. I really appreciate the hard work that you and the employees pay to the attention of neatness. Have you had the opportunity to also review the dress code policy?
No, not recently.
Well, our policy requires that all managers wear ties. This sets the standards, for example, for our subordinates to also dress appropriately.
Well, I'm aware of that, but we found that wearing a tie prevents several problems. First of all, they get dirty and oily, and I can't afford to keep buying new ties. Secondly, we find that a dangling tie presents a safety hazard.
So what do you suggest?
What about if Parker orders polo shirts with the company logo on it?
That's a great idea, Mike. I'll give you the credit for that idea in the next staff meeting.
Thanks.
There's one more very important item I'd like to address. I'm concerned about the reports that the division headquarters are receiving from this department. I noticed that multiple spelling errors have been made. And these multiple spelling errors and mistakes that are being made on this report reflects poorly on the overall report itself. Do you have final approval for the reports that are being submitted?
Yes, I do. I review all of the reports before they are sent to headquarters.
I have completed many of these reports in the past and would like to offer some assistance for you. Do you have any questions as it relates to the format of the report?
Well, I admit the format required for the reports is one that I don't know much about. Also, our orders have been very heavy over the past couple months, and I've not had the opportunity to become completely familiar with this format. I would welcome your assistance. I only see our section becoming busier over the next year. Is there any plan to reduce the frequency of these reports?
It's a great question, Mike. But unfortunately, as of right now, the reports are the only way for us to monitor our productivity, our quality, and cost. I appreciate your willingness to do your part to increase your proficiency with this report.
Well, the reports are very time-consuming, but I do understand they provide valuable information. Since this doesn't seem to be changing, I will make an effort to do what is needed.
Ron illustrates a conjunctive versus a disjunctive communication attribute when he begins his statement addressing Mike's previous comment. Then Ron follows with a statement showing appreciation for Mike's efforts. This continues a supportive listening style as he validates Mike's willingness to work on the issue. Mike illustrates a conjunctive style and takes ownership of the challenge by promising to make an effort towards addressing this issue.
I think it's really important for you to know that I feel overwhelmed with all this information that I've received here. I really thought that our plan was on track, so this comes as a huge surprise.
I understand. Overall, the plan is doing well, and we appreciate your leadership. You have my support, and I really believe that the concerns that we discussed today are flexible. Let's meet over the next month, and actually, let's meet every month moving forward. It's an opportunity. It is a process that I would refer to as a PMI, or a personal management interview. This will give us the opportunity to review the reports that is due to headquarters next month. It would also give you the opportunity to voice any concerns that you may have.
Well, that sounds great, Ron. I really appreciate your support and your confidence. Thank you.
Mike illustrates a congruent versus an incongruent communication style by being honest with how he feels instead of suppressing his feelings. Mike also expresses this in a descriptive versus evaluative style. Instead of putting blame on Ron for the large amount of information shared today, to Mike's comments, Ron follows up with a conjunctive communication style in a supportive and validating statement. Ron's last comments about meeting on a regular basis also illustrates a problem-oriented versus person-oriented communication approach. Mike's last comments illustrates a conjunctive and congruent communication style. Mike's statement flows from what was previously said, and he is honest about his feelings of appreciation.